And you didn't catch any of that because it was muted. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So I've just been talking to the microphone the whole time and nothing. It's cool. Okay. Let me say some stuff again, I guess. I changed some things with the camera setup. I'm just gonna have it be like I guess the term is body doubling. I'm just gonna be here. And every once in a while I can show some, I can pop it up and show it on the screen or something, but I think it's mostly just gonna be like sitting here and hanging out with some music going, just being here for that space. Oh, scooting forward a bit, you know. That way the box also isn't like cutting my head off, and little, you know, little caveats like that. I don't like being beheaded. Let's get some of that music going. We had our board meeting this morning. That was the other thing that got muted out. So we officially got Brian Parker of Believe in Wonder Publishing voted in as our co-chair. We're gonna get that up on our website today or tomorrow. I want to try to do it tonight after we're done with the stream, because it's a really awesome big piece of news, you know. Like he's a good friend of mine, and I'm really excited to have his support and to help him build towards his it's not really like building to helping to build his future. He's got quite a beautiful platform already. He's got a good established fellowship of passionate individuals. I'm really excited to kind of hang out and learn alongside him as a peer. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool, and I know that it's gonna help propel him into some good spaces too, because he is such a bright and wonderful dude, and I love hanging out with him and talking with him. He's always so full of joy, no matter what's going on. That's our word count today. So yeah, got the map up behind me, and I might be able to like point and refer to some places as we're working on some stuff. I have. Where's that desktop audio coming from? Is that the music's coming from both places right now? That's why. There we go. Fix that. So yeah, we didn't really get too much done last night, just a little bit more. What was it? Vent in the background. I got some more organizational stuff done. Like, some stuff for kingdoms, organizations, and factions. So getting some organization in for churches, religious communities, cults, stuff like that. As well as the many different organizations, the tribes and the clans is what I was kind of working on last night. Yesterday, it's a tricky system, because a tribe is the individual cultural belief of a set group of people, and then the clans are the separate units within that group of people, right? Within that culture of people that still believe and kind of think about it like federal to state, right? So if tribes are federal, then clans are state. It might be a good way to think about that, which I know that that's a galling comparison, given that we usually talk about, at least in our region, we talk about indigenous folks when we talk about tribes. So federal and indigenous folks and federal government, they don't really get along. So it's a neat, ironic comparison there. But how do you distinguish if a group of people are part of the same established culture, right? They probably all immigrated there or came to that land, that island together. I'm talking about in reference to our story now. So does the tribe set itself as where they first made landfall and then it spreads out from there? Or is the tribe, like, anytime they split to another region of the island, they become a new tribe, right? Is it that they put that instinct of their culture into the clan, and that clan is a part of the tribe even though it's on the other side of the island? Ooh, it's tricky. But looks like I have a viewer. Hello. Pass us some notes. We'll be sure to check them out. And welcome to the stream. We're doing some writing. I have a map of the world that we're working on in the background here, and a nice little whiteboard keeping track of some other things that our organization, Pantheon Arts Community Storytelling, is doing. But if you have any questions about writing or some problems that you're having with your own, or just chat, whatever, feel free to hit me up. I'll be here probably until about 1:15, 1:30, doing some writing. Talking a little bit about me, kind of, brick walling here a little bit, talking some process. Say 5513. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. That's looking fun. That's cool. Okay. I should get some good writing today. See, I was feeling a little uncomfortable doing the writing with the potential secrets that I don't want to share until certain narrative parts of the story, or things that maybe are a little less developed, even in the brain pan. So this makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, and I can just turn the screen on to share certain things. My partner can help me to realize. So So, babe, if we were to take a picture of this, the map, I have a picture taken, and I am not displeased with the lighting of it, but this room doesn't really have the best lighting with the warm light, and I can't really detach things and move them easily. Do you think that there might be do you think it would be better to put them on the ground, and then we get one of our key lights and just shine it over it, or it would have to be perfectly centered? Well, we would take the picture from behind the key light. That's how you're supposed to do that. There's no glare on the whiteboard with this particular light. That's the picture that I have on the screen here. Well, don't you think that would wash out any outside light if it's the closer, more stronger light source? Well, so one of the things is World Anvil lets you like add markers to it, right? To the maps, so that you can make it interactive. So I want to make sure to get a good, perfectly level picture to put in there for the draft until, I mean, I don't think I'll have the time to learn how to use like a tabletop, like a map maker tool or something like that. But I would love to be able to do that and turn it into a map maker tool with like Incarnate or something, and then replace the background image with that image, which is so like all of the stuff is already on the sheet, on the page. We just have to replace the background image and maybe slide some of the markers around. But also making custom markers. I think that would be really... Yeah, it's a good scratch, Morgana. Oh my gosh, Morgana, good scratch. Don't scratch up there, though. That's gonna cause problems. Either way, you're focused on something else. I just had that thought. So. Okay, so guilds and organizations. Another section that we can work on a little bit. I don't think I quite got done with the keyboard yet. Let me double check that. Cool. Really fun stuff. Really fun stuff today. After we're done with this, you have work, right? Okay. So I was thinking about, we have an extra webcam, right? So I was thinking what I could do is I could put, if I had anything to draw, which I don't really draw, I do like diagrams and stuff, but if I had any diagrams or like scratch drawings or something to do, I could like put one of the webcams on a little tripod and then have that show me doing the scratching.
Yeah, that could work.
Not that I don't know how often I would do that though, because most of that chicken scratch design stuff has been done already from... That's what's in here. This is my light blue book of madness. Of past madness. Yummy. Yeah. Looks like I didn't get them all done. Working title names for the things I haven't finished. I would love to do the Kickstarter for this again. Maybe next year in January. We could do like the pre-launch stuff next month, depending this 50,000 word generation goes. Drive. That should say time. See, that's what I'm saying. It's tricky. It's tricky. You want to make sure to represent it correctly, because otherwise you might cause harm. And then there is also. Could have sworn there was also I have to shave this down. My mustache is annoying the crap out of me this week. It's gonna be under Jungle 3. We had Provodon. Oh, no, right there. North. Yeah, one of those two I remember seeing was the new one of some kind. So that would be also mentioned Okay, cool. I think that's good. I know I'm missing something there. I know I'm missing something in that section. Talus are fun. They're a species that I'm actually really excited to have be a part of stories, because I haven't really seen many shark folk races, shark folk species. I think that's something that's not really seen around a lot. I think, given the concept that they have to breathe water, it makes it tricky to have them as a playable species, right? But in a world of fantasy, you can come up with some ideas and make it easier for them. And I don't know. There's only been like 2 or 3 other games that I can really think of that have had shark folk people outside the game, of course. And one of them was Last Remnant, which phenomenal JRPG combat system. Wow. Super different. It's very unique. I haven't really seen. It's kind of like a cross between I always misremember Fire Emblem. It's kind of like Fire Emblem meets it's one of the new Alien games that came out. It's like it's a third person kind of strategy combat game, and you build squads. It's basically how it goes. But instead of like in Fire Emblem where you have an individual unit and it goes in a straight line and it does its thing, the whole squad acts together, but it plays very similarly to Fire Emblem. It's very cool. So they share resources for abilities. They share the leader can only do so much stuff based off of the AP. They give certain commands based off of what their class is. All sorts of cool stuff. They have their shark race is called the Yamas, and I don't know, man. I didn't know they were shark people until like a third of the way through the game, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're shark folks. Oh, I see that now. I thought they were just giant fish dudes. And so you can kind of play around with some of the conventions what people expect to make it work in your favor, right? And I think that's something that I think I'm pretty good at that. I hope to demonstrate it one day. Okay, I guess there are some extra notes in there that are not necessarily relevant. Supposed to be in that section. Oh, I see. Ah, my goodness. There's going to be some other clans that aren't part of any particular group. Or tribe. I think it might just be tribe. I don't think there's going to be more than one tribe for the Yeasty. Y-S-T-I. Very unique spelling. Y-S-T-I. Yeasty. It's kind of like a Yiddish pronunciation, you could say, right? With like the hard consonants on the Y. They're my representation of nymphs, or maybe not nymphs, but you would say like dryads. Maybe would be a better representation. They're very similar, right? One's a water spirit and one's an earth spirit. Amphromire are like they've changed a little bit since I originally thought them up. Some things changed during development. Basically, they used to be they had this idea. I had this idea around them that they were like an amoeba. They started off as a salamander. So it was a salamander, and then it kind of evolved from the idea of a salamander to like an amoeba, as not. It's like a mesh between amoeba and merfolk. So they have the ability to like manifest or shape their viscous watery form to have like semi-corporeal feet or hand. Well, no, it's feet specifically because their hands are fine. They're like finned hands, but they're hands. And then they can kind of like their legs. Oh, excuse me. They're kind of like mermaids, right? When they're out of the water, they have legs. So if they're out of the water, they can use their powers to shape their fins into legs instead. Is the idea. So they started off as like a salamander creature, and then they became something that can kind of like split their cells and reform them with a viscous formation of water, kind of like an ooze, I guess you could say. But ooze usually comes with a certain connotation in fantasy stories. It's also a synonym for hatred or anger, right? Like seeping or oozing kind of out of you. So it's connotations of words, right? You want to avoid certain things. A tribe to the northwest, northeast. I do that sometimes. I do west-east. I do the weasting. Opposite side. Cool. It's a good day. It's a good day. Know if it would be I don't know if they would have a tribal structure in this particular group, but they would be what? No, you're not supposed to be in that section. Yeah, there you go. Whoopsie. on the forest. That's really easty though. That's not really shaped. Ooh. Surprised I didn't catch that pop. There's a good one. Guilds and organizations. That'll be a good little segue for today. Getting some organization in there for that. Criminal organizations. Mercenaries. Merchant guilds. Scholarly groups. Trade guilds and merchant guilds sound the same. They sound like the same thing. So let's, I guess trade would be more like city to city, whereas merchant would be within the city. So never mind. But they would also be split from city to city. Some merchant guilds might also be trade guilds, basically. That might need more criminal organizations. Those notes are going to be somewhere else. I should say mercenary companies, probably not organizations. That must be a working title. Sometimes you can tell when things are working titles, and sometimes you can't. Adventure tour group. It's something that I had written down. Yeah, it's a working title name. There they are. That's that's a good name. I'm glad that got saved. That's the thing that irks me the most about losing, over 500,000 words of development content is that it's like you lose the naming schemes of the things. That's the Tolkien talked about how making a name for a thing is what makes it real. And for some things with my development, for a lot of things with my development, I have to agree. Like even like working title names are just something to get it on the board if you can't think of a name. But sometimes because if you can't think of a name like in the moment, the idea it'll slip away, right? So you got to get the idea out before it's gone, and then sometimes the name comes later. But most of the time it's like, I need to come up with a name for this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get it figured out. Basically, with gods, the name tells the story, right? With the deities, if you don't have a good name for the deity, then you definitely won't be you're not going to have a good time. No. You won't be able to I don't know, there's this like personification because they are the archetype of the thing, right? And sometimes it's a good idea to do it with characters too, but if you do it too overtly, you'll kind of give away the secret before the secret's meant to come out. And if you're meant to share the secret before, like if it's not a secret, like, oh, it's an open secret, everyone knows that this person has this power, like Naruto or whatever, right? Then awesome, do that if that works. Only the one merchant guild I wrote for Black people. Oh, right, because it's tied in with the noble house. So the noble house runs the merchant guild. That's right. See, as I start to pick up some of these little scraps and hewn bits of who I am, other parts of it come back. It's like reprocessing memories almost. I'm trying to think of it like that because it's like I am trying to recollect lost memories in some way of a different version of myself. That's what a lot of these stories are. And I think it's going to be really cool. I didn't even think about this before, but I think it'll be really cool because it'll kind of help me to empathize with myself a little bit and the stuff that I maybe had to go through as I recollect some of these awful things and some of these not so awful things. And the allegories in which they exist. That's why I was never able to share it before outside of a few trusted people. I was afraid of that. People say when you read stuff from a writer, you're learning more about them than you are the story. Something to that effect. And I don't know, I never had someone to show me that it was safe to share myself like that. Or at least I never connected that psychologically because I was comparing it to the people that I wanted to get that attention from. So I don't need people's attention anymore. I'm just gonna do it because I want to. So I want to share it. Probably going to be a few in that city as well. Merchant guilds. Because it's a cornucopia kind of a city. There's a lot of different cultures that exist in it. So they're going to need representation of each of the folks that are living in that spot. Because they're an open community. Other times you have lots of guilds and order in an imposition like that because it's about maintaining control. But other times it's about making sure influence is shared equally or at least equitably. Organizationally speaking, interest groups and stuff like that, right? Like those groups are created specifically to keep an eye out on industries and be like, hey, no, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that, because sometimes people don't pay attention. You know, sometimes people don't look up. Silver birth goes up to 4 or 5. Okay. That sounds right. So I still am reiterating the challenge that I had made yesterday too. If I do reach the 50,000 word mark by the end of the month, by the middle of the month, I'm going to transition into not filling in content on the wiki, but actually starting to develop stories. Especially now, if I'm not going to actually be showing content as I'm writing it, you know, it's just going to be me like ideally. Okay, what are some other places that might have a merchant guild or two? Yeah, that place would. Did we come up with a name for that place? No, that's the other one. Is it on this backside? Nope. Oh, there it is. It's on the white sheet. Nope. It was supposed to be on this sheet. What in the heckin'? What the heckin'? I know I saw that note the other day when I was looking around. That city's that's Melodon. Could have sworn we had that. Okay. I really gotta find those other notes. Okay. What might be in the treasure chest? What might be in the treasure chest, they say. Hey, that might be the note I was looking for. That's nice. Go. No. Okay, so we didn't come up with a name for that town yet. Unless we decided that it was that. It would be, historically speaking, they created the delta there. So yes, I think that would be, I think that's the name that we intended to put there. Delta mirror. So a mirror is a body of sunken water, but it wouldn't have become a swamp until later. Because names change over time. Even for cities, right? Cities sometimes change names, especially as history or the region changes around them. So what could it change? It could start as Delta something else and change to Delta Mirror when it starts to become more swamp-like. Once again, it doesn't start off as a swamp historically. So that's process. Time changes all things. Before it started to become a swamp-like. That's on top of a hill. So let's do, what does synonym look for mirror? Definition, actually. Double check. Smallest or slightest, yes. There's also that representation of it. A lake, a pond, or arm of the sea. Yes, that's the representation of it that I was using. So I guess it could just keep the name and then it changes context later on. So it's a small delta, but they're not small. They're also kind of semi-dry docks as time passes, because this particular city is a naval-bound city. this, it works actually. So there's three different connotations of mere, right? There's the adjective version, which is that which is solely or no more or better than what is specified. So it's exactly enough, basically. It's merely what it is. And then you could also use it as a representation of small or less. So it's the merest hint of makeup. So it's the smallest change in the the smallest change in the region, so that they can exist and still do what they want to do without causing too much harm for the environment. There's another one. And then a lake, pond, or arm of the sea, what they do is they create a dam that splits into a trickling delta, and the dam creates a lake. So they create a mere in the process. Oh, I love it. Okay. So yeah, that's the name of that city. How many merchant guilds would they have? I think they would have more trade guilds than merchant guilds. Let's say 3, because I'm thinking they're probably going to have, there's going to be one for technology, more technologically oriented stuff as an Arcanist oriented society. And then there's like magical tech sort of stuff. And then there's going to be one that's more for like selling the goods that are brought in from trade.
I'll give you a kiss.
And then in the region, they're more of a scholarly town, so I don't know if they would have very many. I think just 2 for now. We can always add more later. That feels right. What other places might have merchant groups? One of the big merchant guilds would be for Melodon would be humans for sure. And then there's cat folk, dog folk, and rat folk. I think we could also probably squeeze in. Actually, yeah, we could squeeze in one more for the Providale, the monkeys, the gypsies. Dog folk, cat folk, humans, rat folk, and chimps. 5. Perfect. That city doesn't have a name. I don't like I don't like the setup of this though. This is way too many articles. I think maybe what I need to do is I need to just swap it for okay, so here's the thing with working with this World Anvil program that I both appreciate and am excited by every time I work on it, because it allows expansion very easily, but it's also like scalability is something that you have to keep in mind when you are writing this, because how do you organize the articles is going to be imperative unless you have superlative cross-linking. So it's like, do we take all of these guilds and we set them as like in the section under the umbrella category? Do we say we'll just throw all of the guilds down there, or would we say these guilds are the guilds that are specifically found on that island? Well, the real answer is yes. It's both, but not right now, because we only have the one place. So it's like I'm purposefully setting it up incorrectly, is what my brain is telling me, and giving myself more work later instead of just setting it up the right way, even though that's not right, because then the category is very lackluster because there's only one thing in it, right? So what's the middle ground where it doesn't create exhaustion for you to get to the content? What a journey. So I think that the answer is to say guilds instead of guild, and specify each article by each guild, and then just say, here are the guilds in this city, here are the guilds in this city, so on and so forth. So I'm just going to get rid of the extra article. Extra articles for each of the categories. like her process of like reading scripture, and then she's like, "What does the church say? I don't get it."
Yeah.
Do you think it would show up in the...
It's a 4K camera, so it should show up. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that Kat gets to pay thousands of dollars to go look at in class.
Yup.
Yay. Not yay, like I'm like
It's really
it's funny. It's a good thing. It really is. Like we're joking about it not being fun or whatever, but she learns a lot outside of the memes that her teacher shows her from ancient history.
She's not even showing them to me. I'm just finding them.
Oh, okay.
Like she's showing me the things, but she's not like presenting it as a meme.
I know that she's not.
And that wasn't even one of the things that she like zoomed in on when she was talking about the Trump oils.
I understand, but she's done that with other stuff before.
Yeah.
It was like that the one that you showed me a couple days ago where it zoomed right in on his face and their faces were like face to face with each other, and one of them was kind of like
Jesus
derpy.
and Judas.
Yeah, Jesus and Judas. And he's like, "Listen, man, I'm done with your shit." That was really funny. And I think that would be a great way to like get people to engage with art at the Portland Art Museum, maybe, is to like go there and roast it. Roast it. The Portland Art Museum roasting with Pantheon Arts community storytelling. So we just go and we just like talk trash about the greats. We're like, "Oh, look at this awful brush technique," and like,
Not necessarily that, but just being like,
okay, well then it's not a roast. You have to be like, if it's a roast, then you have to like say things that are like bad about it. Bad about it. Roast the masters with Pantheon Arts. I don't think that would land well though. No.
because you're supposed to be appreciating the art there.
Yeah, but it's ironic, right? That's the point.
That's true.
It's
That's true.
it's a satire thing.
It would get maybe like our generation.
That's the point. That's what I'm thinking about, is like how do you get like Gen Z and stuff to engage with going to appreciate art? Because what they do is when they appreciate stuff online is they're roasting it. They memify it. So what if that's what we did, is we found a way to memify historical art pieces. Yeah, ironically teach them things at the same time. Yeah, how dare you go to that Polish academy to teach you how to be a artist for 6 years before you became the most well-known oil painter in all the world, Rembrandt. Yeah. Dutch school, not Polish, but I think that would be great. I think that would be a fun way to program that. And now that we've put it into the world, someone will do it, even if it's not us, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is the better way to do it, because that's way less congestion in the back end. It's, you click on one and then you learn about all of the guilds in that city on one page. I think that's the better way to do it. Rather than, there are a number of guilds in the city, and then here are a list of them, and then you click on that list and it takes you to a different page just for that one guild. I think that because they're all part of the same system, it makes sense to have them all on the same shared page for any given town or city. So that chopped it down from like 20 articles to like 5 articles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's going to make that a lot more comfortable to navigate. Looks like we're getting past our hour mark. I'm having a good time just, moving. I'm still just moving organizational copy over for like categories and sections. I haven't even gotten to like building out like, the content that I'm like using. Like I got this note here, you know, that's got 5 paragraphs of content on it, and like on the backside too, right? And it has like a small little narrative of content that's a treasure trove of things that can be unfolded. But I need to like put in the organization before I can like take the snippets and then put them there. And then once all the snippets are on the pages, then that's when you formate them into like full thoughts. I mean, that's a process, not necessarily the process. It sounds exhaustive, but that's what I was trying to do, right? I was trying to get all the little crumbs together and then sort the crumbs kind of like candy at Halloween, and then say, okay, I'll work on this pile, then I'll work on this pile, then I'll work on this pile. And then I lost all of the piles. I got robbed. No, I didn't get robbed. That's a funny story, though. Halloween, when I was in high school, there was, oh man. So it was a Halloween party, I think sophomore year, maybe freshman year. I think it was sophomore year. No, it was freshman year, yeah. And so it was at my buddy Alex's place, and I was kind of I got along with some folks back then, you know, so I got invited to a couple parties, and I couldn't make it to every single party, of course, and they weren't like, they're not like party when you think party and you think like high school party. It's not like that kind of party. They were like normal parties with like adults and stuff present, and like but still like lots of people, lots of invitations, etc. So we went to I went to the one because my buddy Alex lived on the opposite corner or whatever. And we hung out there for a few hours, and then I asked some folks if they wanted to go with me to the other party. I checked with the person beforehand, of course. There were folks who weren't, already tired of bobbing for apples or whatever. They joined me, and one of them was my buddy Jeremy, and one was my buddy Taylor, and my other friend Taylor, 2 different Taylors. One of them, female Taylor, needed someone to give her a walk home, so that's kind of what it started as well. It's like, oh well, the party's also in that direction, so let's do that. That's perfect. Anyways, we're walking down the road, and this guy in a truck, pickup truck, comes by, and he goes, hey man, do you know the directions to go to blah diddy blah? He's asking for some place. We were out in Gresham at the time, so he's asking for a place over by Division and whatever. And my buddy Taylor, the male Taylor, he goes up and he's like confident, and he steps forward, and he's like pointing, and he's giving directions. And then the guy in the car goes, now! And 2 guys jump out of the pickup, or not like out of it, but like one person hops out of the back and one person is in the passenger seat, and he's like crouched behind the door, and he pops up and grabs Taylor's, the guy in the pickup, the back of it, grabs Taylor's bag, and then the truck peels out, takes his bag with him. A whole night of trick-or-treating and stuff, kind of all. Whew. My stuff was in a backpack. I was Dr. House that year, in a couple of years. That was the first year I did it, I think. So I had all my candy in a backpack and a pillowcase in my backpack. So I was like, it's not gonna happen to me. But that really sucked. That was awful. He was like, I swear to God, he was like dragging the truck for a little bit while he's holding onto the pillowcase, And then the car peels out, and it gets to the stoplight, because it was like one of the flashing red lights instead of like an actual stoplight. No, that was earlier on down the road. That's right. So yeah, that was at the edge of the street where it went onto the main road. So it hit a red light after peeling out, and it was only like 20 or 30 feet away from us. So I was like, you can still catch them if you want. And we started to kind of like move a little bit faster, and he like looked out, like we weren't running, you know, because it was like, he can still turn right on red if he wants to get out, you know, it's not a big deal. But yeah, we did get jacked. At least I know someone who got jacked on Halloween once. Sometimes, I haven't told that story in a long time. I'll finish up some of these notes for guilds now. I've gotten down to like trade guilds and stuff. So, in this context, I had meant trade as in like not selling, but trade as in like doing the craft and stuff. Gotcha. Oh, this is all minor. Book bound. Bookbinders. Carpentry. Fluff, yeah. Culinary. They have a very Blackbeak has a great culinary program. Wow, what a collection! Well, I think that is going to be it for me today for our little bit of time hanging out together. We got our word count up another. That's the wrong spot. 300-ish. Yeah, 200 and whatever. We'll get some more tonight. I have some website work and some follow-ups with some folks for some programming. So that might take some precedence, but you can't stay on top of it every day. Almost at 11%.